Hey everybody, welcome back to 1.3 Points, Lines, and Planes. Get ready to learn about points, lines, and planes. Alright, today we are going to be using postulates and undefined terms. Today is going to have quite a few vocab words, so I hope you are ready to write, which means it should take a little less time, but a little bit more writing today. Okay, so those are all the vocab words that we have going. So it starts with point. Okay, what I want you to do is you can write this down as I explain it. And I want you, in your notes, I want you to be able to write the term and the diagram. Okay. Also, I want you to be able to know how to write the different. You don't have to write the sentences that we have here. All you have to do is write how to label them. Okay, so how to label a line, how to label a plane would be down here, okay, and a point up there. Just know how to label them, so you don't need to worry about the extra wording up here. That is fine. So a point. A point names a location, but it has no size. It is represented by a dot. So you know what a point looks like. It's just the same as putting a coordinate on a plane. It's just that little dot on a map, but it has no size. A line is a straight path that has no thickness and it extends forever. It goes on and on and on and on forever. When we label this line, notice we have our X and our Y. Okay, if you even look on that left side, there, right here, could be or Y or X, and it extends. And you'll have a little arrow that you need to put on top of it. Notice you need those arrows on each side. So we know that it is a line because we need to know that it extends on and on and on forever. A plane. A plane is a flat surface that has no thickness and extends on forever. One thing that you do need to know, if you look at that diagram, notice that it has 3 points. Okay, if you want to label this, make sure you label it, write the word plane, of course, and put 3 points that are on that plane. So 3 points that are on that plane would also be naming that plane. Alright? So if you need to pause to keep writing, go ahead. We're going to move on. Looking at these 4 definitions, we start off, again, all you need is your definition and your diagram, and you don't need to write the words with the name. All I want you to do is write how to label it. Okay, so if we look at this, a segment or a line segment is the part of a line consisting of 2 points and all points between them. So if we look at this, okay, looking at line segment AB, they definitely have 2 endpoints. It ends there. It doesn't extend on forever. Notice there are no arrows. It definitely stops at that point. Also, inside this line right here is actually an infinite number of points. Okay, so those are points, even though it's a straight dark line. Those are just points that are very, very, very close together. Okay, and it looks like a line. Okay, an endpoint. An endpoint is a point at one end of a segment or the starting point of a ray. Okay, so just like on a line segment, they are your ending points, where that line segment or ends, or where that ray begins. Okay, so these have specific names called endpoints. A ray. A ray is a part of a line that starts at an endpoint and extends on in one direction forever. Okay, so when we look at the ray of RS, notice that it starts at R and it extends through S. So this ray, if you look at that ray, it has the endpoint of R, but it contains S. So it has an endpoint of R, but contains S. Also, notice that it can go either way, but as far as how you label it. But if you notice R comes first, because R comes first, that means your endpoint has to start with R. Okay, we could not write this. Ray RS is not labeled, or is not said like this. This is not ray RS. This would be ray SR. Okay, so be careful. Do not make the mistake of writing down a point instead of an endpoint when naming your ray. So your ray, that first letter in your ray, is going to be your endpoint. Okay? Opposite rays, I just want you to know this. Opposite rays are two rays that have a common endpoint and form a line. So if you look at this diagram down here, it does look like a line essentially with 3 points in it, and that's what an opposite ray is. But you could label it as ray EF and ray EG. Notice again, my first letter is E, so that's how I'm going to label it. Ray EF and EG. Alright, moving on. Okay, these are 4 words that you will hear a lot of. Okay, a postulate are statements that are accepted without further justification. So a postulate are basically, they're laws of math, essentially. Laws of math. Collinear points are points on the same line. Notice right here, collinear, it has the word line in it. That means same line, same line. Same thing with coplanar. Coplanar points, guess what? Same planes. That's what they are, points on the same plane. You can almost see part of plane in there, plan, I guess. But they are very similar. So when you think of collinear, think same line. Coplanar, same plane. Coplanar lines are lines, essentially, that just lie on the same plane. So again, we have the same word. Okay? Points that lie on the same plane, lines that lie on the same plane as well. Coplanar, collinear. These are the postulates that you do need to know when we start getting into the 2-column proofs. We will be using postulates, so get to know these postulates and almost start memorizing them right away. So, postulate 111, through any 2 points there is exactly one line. So you can put 2 points anywhere on a drawing. 2 points. We can connect these points. Whoa, that wasn't right. Okay, we can connect these points using one line. Okay, at any time you want to connect those points, you can use it exactly one line. It can only go one way. Through any through any 3 non-collinear points, there is exactly one plane containing them. So if you have 3 non-collinear points, you also have a plane. If 2 points lie on the same plane, this is 113. If 2 points lie on the same plane, then the line containing those points lies in the plane. So essentially, if you have 2 points on a plane, so let's look at, I'm going to go back to this drawing right here, this second drawing, and I'm just going to put in a couple of points. You don't have to do this. A, B, C. That tells me that if I had a line AB, that line AB would be on that blue plane. Okay, or on plane ABC. Okay, so again, if 2 points lie on the same plane, which A and B do, right on that line, on that plane, then the line containing those points, line AB, lies on that plane. Okay? Alright, so let's look at a couple of problems, except you notice you do not have to write this down. Whoops. There is no yellow bar up here, so you don't have to write this down, just pay attention. So, name 4 coplanar points. What does coplanar mean? It means the same, what? Plane! Look at that, you can almost see the word plane in there. It says plane without the E. It says coplanar. Coplanar, same plane, coplanar, alright? We're looking for 4 coplanar points, and if you look at this diagram, you will notice the plane right there as I highlighted it in red. So there's 4 points that are on that are labeled there. They are A, B, C, and D. Okay, A, B, C, and D, 4 coplanar points. Now, we get to name the 3 lines. There are more than 3 lines in this diagram. I'll label all of them. But the one thing I do not want you to fall into the trap of writing A, B. Okay, if you get into this and you wrote A, B, that is that's incorrect. Why? because AB is a line segment, not a line. Remember, a line has to have those arrows. So out of all of these lines, I will label all of them. I will get line AE, BE, CE, and DE. Those are our 4 lines. You can have any of those 3. Notice that I did put the line symbol in there. It has to be above those 2 points. Sweet. Let's go on to a couple of problems. Alright, here we go. Please write this one down. Okay. Remember the yellow bar. Give these 3 problems a shot and we'll see how you do. Alright. Going through this one, it says a point on BC. Ray BC. We know that this ray starts at point B. That's its endpoint because that's the very first letter in ray BC that they explain in the problem. So, what is a point on BC? I will take 3 different answers. I will take B, I will take C, and I will take D. So, B, C, and D, if you would have labeled any of those, I would have taken those as correct. The intersection of plane N and plane T. So if we look at this, plane N and plane T, what is going to be at the intersection of plane N and plane T? Okay, so we look at this. This one's going up and down. Plane N is going up and down. Plane T is going straight across. If we look at that intersection right here, that intersection, that is going to be line BD. Notice that this line, remember, it extends. It goes on and on and on forever. Planes are also go on and on and on forever. Okay, so their lines, their intersection point, they will intersect at one line of BD. Now, I'm going to erase that piece of it, and we're looking for the plane containing E, D, and B. So plane of E, D, and B, looking at here, here's E, here's D, here's B. That looks to be on this red plane, which is plane T. That is a T, looks similar to a J, but that's the same thing as that. Okay? Alright, moving on. Alright, so this one is going to be our last slide of the night, or of the day, I should say. So it says, draw and label each of the following, not following. Following, please write this down, and pause, and see how you do. Okay, A, a segment with the endpoints of M and N. Okay, we know that we have a segment, an endpoint M. Well, that is an ugly M. I have no idea what that was. Okay, here we go. Back to it. M. We have an endpoint N. It is a segment. Bam. Line segment. Okay, that went just a little past the endpoint. It's okay. Okay, so M and line segment MN. Now it says array with the endpoint M that contains N. We know that we have an endpoint of M. Endpoint M. It's going to be array, so it's going to go on and on forever. But also it says it contains the point N. So on here is the point N. We have point N. I would also have accepted this, because that is also the correct answer, whichever way you want to go. Alright, all set to go? Awesome. I will see you tomorrow with the homework ready to go. Have a good day.